Bench press is a compound, complicated, detailed movement that engages simultaneous muscle activation such as your pecs, your delts, your triceps, your biceps, your back, your core, even your glutes and your quads if you know the proper form, which most people don't know those minor details that can set you apart, increase your upper body strength and power, and increase your PR numbers. Unfortunately, in this video, we're not going to be talking about the form of the bench press, but the actual warm-ups, what you need to be doing before you start bench pressing to avoid injuries. But before we dig in, don't forget to like and comment on this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and ring the bell for notifications. The first warm-up exercise is shown in a slow motion. It's called bended underhand pulls. You pull in the band right below your pec muscle. You're activating your rotator cuff, your shoulders, and your back, which is a great warm-up for the bench press. I would suggest to do 2 sets of 20 at least. The next one in a superset will be overhand bended pulls. You're pulling it a little bit higher on your chest. Also activation of your rotator cuff, your shoulder, and your back, even your triceps, depending how hard you squeeze in the band. Remember, if you grab the band too tight and you can't pull it all the way to your chest, then you're really not going to be activating anything but just struggling on your warm-up, which is not the goal. If you grab it too loose and you pull it to your chest and you're not feeling anything at all, then you're just wasting your time. You're not challenging yourself. So find that golden balance on the band when it's not too tight, not too loose. You feel the blood flowing to your shoulders, your rotator cuff, and your back, but it's not like you're hitting PRs. Another great warm-up exercise is a dynamic stretch of your front shoulder and your pecs. You're going to grab the band, not too tight, not too loose, and stretch all the way behind your back. Make sure you don't bend your elbows. If you grab the band too tight and you start bending your elbows, you're not going to feel the stretch, and you're really killing the whole concept behind it. So again, find that golden balance and get a nice stretch of your front shoulder and your pec. This is a dynamic warm-up. Clearly, we are engaging our triceps while we bench pressing, so warm-up for triceps would be crucial. I would start with a cable rope tricep pushdowns for 2 sets of 20 with a superset of face pulls that I'm going to show you later in this video. Make sure when you do tricep pushdowns, your elbow is not moving and your hands are not coming all the way up. By activating your shoulders with face pulls, keep your fingers in, step back, feet on the same alignment, and pull the rope right above your head by spreading your elbows out as far as you can and pinching your shoulder blades. Exhaling when you pull the rope, inhale when your arms are straight, and I will repeat this warm-up for 2 sets of 20 at least back to back. Remember, with tricep pushdowns, you do want to stand a little bit lean forward so you don't activate your shoulders. We want to focus on our triceps. Make sure your elbow is not moving. It's locked in the same spot. And don't bring your hands all the way up. That will cause your elbow move and activating your shoulders. Probably the most crucial muscle groups to warm up for bench days are your rotator cuff muscles that people forget to warm up and train, and that's why a lot of rotator cuff tears happen. In this clip, you see me having my elbows locked in next to my waist and then rotating dumbbells externally coming back to neutral position. You can superset it with this rotator cuff movements. Make sure your elbows are locked in and you just lifting your forearms up and down, exhaling on the way up. Do not move your elbows. You can perform all these exercises in a superset of 2 sets of 20 and combine it with lateral movements. Don't grab weights too heavy. It's got to be a light warm-up weights. Lateral movements got to be performed with your hands facing slightly forward. Bring them up parallel to the floor and soften your elbows. Exhale on the way up. Also combine it with the front raises going into lateral raises. We don't want to forget about front shoulder as well. Same thing, 2 sets of 20. Exhale on the way up, nice and lightweight. I already feel the burn in my shoulders. As you see, I wiggle, twiggle. Just keep going. Finish the warm-up and repeat it again. next warm-up routine on the agenda are forearms, Superman flexions, and extensions. Get in the Superman position on the bench with your arms fully stretched out in front of you and your wrists are off the bench. In this clip, we're starting with Superman forearms flexions with your palms facing up. Grab the weights. I wouldn't go heavier more than 10 pounds. If you're a beginner, go anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds. Now flex your wrists, holding those dumbbells tight in an upward position with a 4-second count on the way up. Squeeze your forearms on the very top and then drop the weights down. And repeat this for 20 to 30 reps. And superset that with Superman forearms extensions. It's the same concept, but your palms are facing down. Bring your dumbbells up in a 4-second count. Squeeze your forearms on top and then drop down really fast. Again, for 20 to 30 reps, don't go heavier than 10 pounds. As you know, when you perform bench press, when the bar descends, you are controlling it with your back and your bicep. Especially if you're a beginner, bicep tendon tends to overstretch when you start performing bench presses, especially when you go heavier. Even if you're advanced and not a beginner when it comes to bench press and you're familiar with the movement, when the weight gets heavier, bicep tendons tend to be under a lot of stress and tension. So please warm up your biceps for sure. I would highly suggest 2 sets of 20 with lightweight underhand curls and twisted curls from hammer into underhand on top, just like shown in the video. And superset that for 2 sets of 20 with lightweight triceps skull crushers. Don't forget to warm up those triceps. You can use a flat bench. Light weights in this video, I'm using 5 pounds. Make sure your elbows are facing up, locked in the same spot, and bring those dumbbells towards your shoulder. In this clip, you are seeing a powerlifting bench press that are used in many competitions and many organizations. You can change the height using the jack that is attached to the machine on both sides to the height level that's appropriate for you. And the bed of the bench press is covered with a non-slippery material, so when you get underneath the weights, especially when the weight gets heavier, you don't slip and you can keep the tightness of your back throughout the whole movement. But the form of this bench press is going to be presented in the next video. So please like and comment on this tutorial, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and ring the bell for notifications so you can learn how to bench press together in the next video. Thank you guys.